Phoenix home prices are declining because of interest rates, but they are not declining as fast as you would think. Most people are saying price cuts, price cuts, price cuts, reduction, reduction, reduction. Or now the new term here by real estate agents is called new price. I don't understand new price. Why don't you just call it reduced price or price reduction? There's a new term out there that the coaches are naming it new price. So interest rates came into a factor as far as home prices here across the United States and especially here in Phoenix, Arizona. But I want to show you the data that the price reductions and the price cuts are not as big as you thought they were. Now, as you've heard or seen, the Fed has increased the rates to try to fight this inflation that we have, and they're trying to get inflation to 2%, back to 2%. Now, this is going to be very difficult. Now, if you look at mortgage rates, is the Fed have increased the overall interest rate, which is not really related to housing and interest rates, but yet it has affected interest rates as a whole as you are trying to get financing for a house. When you're able to get an interest rate at 2.75% to 3.5%, well, today you're sitting about 7%. That is right, folks, 7%. Now, that actually does a lot about your mortgage payment when you're trying to buy a house and affordability, as people's income are not rising as far as work-wise and their job rise, is interest rates have been affected for mortgages and home prices are high. Then we start getting into the issue like, where can you afford a house? So one thing I want to show you is the interest rates that's been happening across the United States by the federal government. Is one of the best websites that I use as an agent and investor to show my clients of what's going on is Mortgage News Daily. Now, of course, if you're going to get a loan and get financing, it's all going to come down to credit, income, debt to income ratio, all that stuff. But this is a great starter website to go to, mortgagenewsdaily.com. I'm not affiliated. I don't get paid by it. But I just wanted to pitch it out there to you. If you're out there shopping, you can go to this website. It has an app, and you can basically just see what the interest rate is for that day that you are shopping. So let's go take a look at this chart so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this app right here, mortgagenewsdaily.com, you can find it on your desktop or cell phone. It gives you everything you need to know as far as interest rates. So let's take a look at this. So as you can see here, is at the very, very, very bottom, interest rates were at 2.81%. And this was August 4th of 2021. But of course, the Fed came in and started, trying to get this inflation under control and trying to keep it at 2%. And they've increased the rates, not mortgage rates itself, but the Fed rate. But it has impacted mortgage-backed securities and what you're going to receive as far as a mortgage when purchasing a house. Now, you can see here, if it has rose up to 4.12%. And you might think, well, that's not too bad, right? And it is not. But once it started going up to the next peak, we were at 5.62%. Now, this is a 30-year fix, and this is what you're going to receive depending on your debt-to-income ratio and your credit score and all that jazz when you're looking for a mortgage. But it has continued to go up. Look at 6.28. Then we had a little slight dip where everybody was like, oh man, I should get in now, where we were at 5.3. But of course, it went up to 7.08%, all the way up to 7.37%. And now sitting here at the last peak at 6.78%. That is February 16th of 2023. Let me see if I can go a little higher. Here we go. 6.78. That is right, folks. So that's where we're sitting as far as interest rates. Now, this chart is very valuable when you're shopping for a house because you can go to this chart, pretty much look at the history of interest rates, look at the interest rate that you might receive today when purchasing a house. So I highly suggest you look at that. Now, mortgage rates has affected prices as far as real estate prices across the United States. Not only in other cities, but big time here in Arizona. But prices haven't declined as much as you would have thought. And I want to go show you that chart right now. Now, I have to give a shout out to where I get this information. This information is provided by the Crawford Reports. I pay a significant amount of money to receive all this data so I can make a sound decision when I'm representing my clients. And I just want to let you know that if you like this information, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notified once I drop the latest video, because I'm just bringing you some home buyer tips, home seller tips, investment tips if you're thinking about investing in some real estate here in Phoenix, Arizona. So please hit that subscribe button and let's go take a look at this chart right here so I can show you how much prices have been declining here in Phoenix, Arizona, because it's really not that much. Even though we are negotiating great prices on our contracts, price reductions on listings have not really been felt on the street yet. Okay, so here is a number of price reductions changes per week. Okay, now this is last updated was February 12th. Okay, at about 1:46 p.m. Now you can see here that seasonally price reductions typically increase and the peak between February and March, and then they come back in October. As a listing agent, you must know this when we hit these months, because these are typically when they increase and the peak when people want to get their property sold, especially during springtime, which is spring training coming up right here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, February of 2023, price reduction counts are normal with historic data. Now, if we look here in February, okay, this is a normal amount of price reduction that is happening right here where my mouse is at. We can't include 2022, 2021, and 2022 because that is when the market was a frenzy. Okay, we all know what happened here. But if you look at historically, if you look here in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 15, and 14, if you look at the linear line, it's pretty much in balance of what price reductions have done historically in the past. So as far as price reductions happening, like there is a lot, and people are saying that price cuts are happening all over the United States, and they might be in a different city, which I am not an expert in, but I am an expert here in Phoenix, Arizona. Historically, everything is in balance as far as price reductions and price changes. So I wanted to show you that chart because this is really, when you're looking and buying a house, is you really got to look at the historical data and be like, wow, prices are high, interest rates are higher, but yet price reductions are not really being seen on the street just yet. And I hate to say it, I don't think it's going to happen where you're going to see massive price reductions unless you are in the luxury market. Now, folks, the next chart I want to show you is the amount of money that price reductions per category of the listings that we have active for sale. Now, we've been over the interest rates. I showed you the historical data of price reductions and during the months of when you're shopping for a house, when you might see all these price reductions. But now I want to show you the data of what's actually happening in the amount of money of these price reductions per price category, you could say. So let's go take a look at that chart right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to show you the price reductions and per the category of actually say active listings for sale and what's going on. So you see here is under 200,000. We're seeing only a 5,000 price reduction. I can't even believe they still have that as far as a category because you can't really find anything under 200,000. Now, 200 to 300,000, the price reduction has been 7,000. 300 to 500,000 price range as far as active listings for sale. You're looking about a $10,000 price reduction. You're looking from 500 to 600,000 and purchasing a house between that price. You're looking about $10,050, and then 600 to 800,000. You're looking about a $14,955. Just call it 15,000 break just to raise it up. And then 800 to $1 million, you're looking about a 20,250 price reduction. Now, 1 million to 2 million, this is where I tell you luxury market, you're seeing about a $50,000 price reduction. And over 2 million, you're seeing about $100,000 price reduction. But you're seeing This is kind of like 14.2% of active listings had a price reduction in the last week. So you're not really seeing big, significant amount of price reductions for homes that are actually for sale. And what's another thing that's actually causing this is we don't have a whole lot of active listings, to be honest with you. So as new properties don't hit the market, sellers don't really have to cut the price. Because also, so when you look at the inventory that might be hitting the market, those homes are really in not a great condition for somebody to purchase. They're going to come in and purchase a house at a higher price point, at a higher interest rate, and yet they have to come in and do work to move into the house. That just makes no sense at all. So people are just waiting for the right house to hit the market where they can just move in. They want to move in ready. So now sellers really have to put the effort to fix up their house. Meaning if they have bad carpet, they got to put in new carpet or shampoo it and make it look nice. If they have never painted their house in the interior, they got to give it some love inside and paint it inside. If they never took care of the exterior and painted the exterior, well, they got to give it some love. If the roof is bad, well, they might have to put a new roof. If the pool is really, really bad, they might have to resurface the pool. But you got to take in consideration that sellers are needing to put some work into the property to get it sold. Okay, or it's going to be affected by the purchase contract price. So with that being said, that's what we're seeing here as far as Phoenix, Arizona, as far as how interest rates are affecting prices here in Phoenix, Arizona. Do I see prices going down a little bit further? Of course I do. Now, do I have a magic pill or a magic ball to tell you when's a good time to buy? No. Do I have a magic ball like am I a genie to tell you when it's a good time to sell? No, it's always going to be specific to you. But I can tell you this, is some of the sellers I sit down with are like, man, I really want to sell, Victor, but I don't want to get into this other category where I'm going to purchase at 7 or 8%. Now, we do have other programs that might help you make that decision, but I'm just here to give you the facts. And do I see prices declining more? Yes, a little bit more, but do I see a market crash happening here? And I've said it for years. I don't think there's going to be a market crash here in Phoenix, Arizona, especially now that the job market came. It was significantly strong as far as jobs here in Phoenix, Arizona, and people moving here. The reason why I say that is we just leased out a commercial building for 10 years to a business from California. They're bringing everybody over here to California. They signed a 10-year lease in a big office space. And I was part of that, and I was amazed on what the conversation was from the business owner directly from California saying, there's many of us that are leaving California to move to Arizona just because of the tax benefits of bringing our businesses here. So you got to take that into consideration as people are still moving here. And price reductions, yes, they're here and there, hit and miss, but you're going to get a good price on the house that you want to purchase in the contract. If you're waiting for it to hit the listing on MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever it's going to be, it's really not that big of an increment dollar value, but most definitely we can negotiate on the contract. So I just wanted to put it out there. So is it a right time to buy? Well, that's up to you. Is it a right time to sell? Well, that's up to you. It's up to your priorities on what you have going on in your life and what you really want to do. So I just want to bring that to your attention, folks, is interest rates have had a hit as far as prices, but not as big as you may have thought. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Once again, Victor Huerta, local real estate agent, investor, and high performance coach here in Arizona. And if you have not done so, please hit that subscribe button, that bell to get notified once I drop the latest video, because I'm just bringing you some home buyer tips, home seller tips, investment tips, especially if you're trying to invest here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's been a different landscape now. So with that being said, folks, we'll see you guys on the next video.
If you have any questions, email me at victor@freeagentproperties.com. Again, that email address is victor@freeagentproperties.com, where we release new videos each week on home buyer tips, home seller tips, the Phoenix housing market updates, so you can be mindful when you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. We will talk to you soon.